Good morning, children. Today we are going to do Chapter 7 of Science, Weather, Climate and Adaptation of Animals to Climate. We have just now finished the monsoon season where you took out your umbrellas and raincoats. You must have also enjoyed dishes like bhajia because that was a different season. Our clothes also were not drying fast, and you must have watched on TV the predictions that there is going to be heavy rainfall. Very soon we are going to have winter season as well. It will be cold all over, but in our place we don't have snowfall even in winter seasons, which is very often seen in Shimla or Kashmir. So what we are talking here is about weather and climate. Weather is something that changes on day-to-day basis, like temperature, humidity, rainfall, timings of sunrise and sunset. Whereas climate depends upon the location of a place. Like climate of Godhra or Gujarat is dry and hot, and it is very much different from the climate of a hill station, which is cool even during hot summers, such as Shimla or Kashmir. Similarly, the coastal regions have a very different climate. It's always humid there. You must also have seen weather reports on TV news channels or in the newspaper, which is given on a daily basis. You can collect some of them, those reports which you get in the newspaper, and stick them in your notebook. So in this chapter, we will study about weather and climate, and we will also see how different forms of life get adapted to the climate of their habitat. Like animals which are residing in deserts are different from the animals which live in polar regions. So how do they adapt? This all is what we are going to learn in this chapter. Weather reports are prepared by Meteorological Department of Government. The department collects data on temperature, wind, etc. and makes a prediction how the weather is going to be the next day. So the day-to-day condition of atmosphere at a place with respect to temperature, humidity, rainfall, wind speed, etc. is called weather of that place. And this temperature, humidity and all these factors, they are called the elements of weather. The element of a place changes day after day and week after week. See this table here. If it is every day for a week, seeing the weather report in your local newspaper, you will see the changes on day-to-day basis. Minimum temperature, maximum temperature, they will change. Humidity will change. So in short, weather is such a complex phenomena which can vary over a very short period of time. Sometimes you must have seen that it is a very sunny day and suddenly it becomes cloudy and starts raining. And sometimes it so happens that it was raining heavily, but all of a sudden the sun starts shining bright. So in weather report, you must have seen minimum and maximum temperatures also recorded every day. These temperatures are recorded by a special thermometer for this purpose, and it is called a maximum and minimum thermometer. This maximum temperature of the day generally occurs in the afternoon, while the minimum temperature is recorded during the early mornings of a day. Now all these changes occur due to the sun. You must have seen that in winters it becomes very dark early. The days are shorter in winter. The time for sunrise and sunset changes. So all these changes are because of the sun. You know that sun is a source of heat and light on the earth. So all the energy that we get on this earth comes from the sun. This energy is absorbed and it is reflected back by earth's surface oceans, and also atmosphere. And then it plays an important role in determining the weather of any place. So, weather is something that changes on a daily basis. Then, what is climate? Let's see. Climate is a weather pattern of a place over a very long period of time. Like the average weather pattern taken over for, say, around 25 years is called the climate of the place. Let's see these two tables which are given here and compare them. If you can see the table, for Jammu Kashmir, the minimum temperature has gone below 0 degree and maximum temperature of any month, if you check, first of all, there is a lot of variation in the maximum temperature. Sometimes it is as low as 4 degrees and sometimes it is as high as 30 degrees. But it is not more than 30 degrees in any of the months. And if you check the rainfall, that is also not much. But if you compare with this, the temperature table or the weather report information of Thiruvananthapuram, which is in Kerala, that's a coastal region. So you see the minimum temperature, that is for either 22 or 23, neither less than that nor more than that. Similarly, the maximum temperature is near about 30, slightly less than 30 or slightly more than 30. So you can see there is not much difference between the minimum and the maximum temperature as well. They are nearby. So throughout the day and through all the months, the daily weather conditions are almost the same. But look at the rainfall. So they have very less rainfall. Only for 3 to 4 months they have less rainfall. Rest of the year they have lots of rainfall throughout. So when you compare these two, you can understand the climate. Jammu Kashmir has a dry climate, not much of rainfall, and it is not very hot also. Whereas if you compare the table of Thiruvananthapuram, then the temperature is average. It's neither very low nor very high, and it is quite humid place. Lots of rainfall is there. So this is how we compare the climate of a place. And you can see there is a difference in the climate of these two regions. Similarly, Rajasthan. If you talk about Rajasthan, the temperature is very high during most part of the year. But during winter, the temperature is very low. It's very cold in Rajasthan during winters. Rest of the year, it is very hot. But this winter season lasts for few days only, or few months we can say. It receives very little rainfall also, and that is why the climate there is hot and dry, the typical desert climate. If we talk about the northeastern parts of India like Assam, Meghalaya, all those areas, they receive lots of rainfall in the major part of the year. So we can say that the climate of northeast is wet. Coming to the next topic, which is adaptation. Adaptation is a very important phenomenon for animals to live and survive. If you ever happen to live in a very cold region, what will you do? You will wear woolen clothes, you will use room heaters to keep yourself warm. And if you are in a very hot region, you will live in AC rooms, move in AC cars and all that. But animals, they have to live in open. They don't have specific clothes to wear according to season, nor do they have houses with various facilities. Food also they eat whatever is available in the surroundings. So they need to adapt to their surroundings. So animals living in very cold regions or very hot climatic regions must have some special features to protect themselves against extreme cold or hot. Here we'll study about the effect of climate on animals. Let's first see some adaptation of animals living in polar regions. You know, polar regions have very extreme climate. This region is covered with snow throughout the year and it is very cold throughout. For 6 months there will be no sunrise, and for 6 months there is no sunset. In winters the temperature goes as below as minus 37 degrees. So animals which live there have to adapt to these severe conditions. It is even difficult for humans to live in such extreme conditions. So if animals don't adapt to these climatic conditions, they will not survive. Animals which are found there are polar bears and penguins. So first, let's discuss the adaptations in polar bear. Polar bears have white fur. It is as white as snow. So polar bears cannot be easily seen in snowy background because only their eyes and their nose part is black. Rest whole of the polar bear is white in color, because of which it is not seen in the snow. And this helps the polar bear to protect itself from those animals which can hunt it, like from its predators. And it also helps the polar bear in catching their prey. They live in extreme cold condition, but they have a thick layer of fat inside their skin, under their skin. Fat helps to keep our body warm. And also these polar bears have 2 thick layers of fur. If you have ever experienced wearing a furry sweater in winter, it keeps you warm. These animals, this polar bear has 2 layers of that fur which protects it from severe cold. In fact, their body is so much insulated that they have to move slowly. If they move fast, their body becomes heated. Because whenever we are running, we are walking fast, our body gets heated. Same thing happens to polar bear. So if they run fast, their body gets heated. So much heated that it is overheated. And whenever it happens, polar bear has to go for swimming in that icy cold water which is found in polar regions. So its body is made such that it can survive in extreme conditions. Other than this, polar bears are good swimmers because their paws are wide and large. Because of these wide and large paws, they are able to swim well, and also they are able to walk on the snow. Another property or another adaptation is that while they are swimming underwater, they can close their nostrils and remain underwater for long durations. Those who know swimming, you know you cannot close your nostrils for a long time, and you cannot breathe underwater as well. But they have these properties. These polar bears have a very strong sense of smell. All bears have, polar bears also have it, and they can smell their prey from far, and they can catch them for food. Here this chart explains you the adaptation, all the adaptations of a polar bear. Now let's discuss about the adaptation a penguin has so that it can survive in these polar severe conditions. Penguins also have a white coat which merges with the background. It also has a thick skin and lot of fat inside the skin to protect it from cold. Penguins huddle together because huddling together keeps them warm in those cold climates. This you must have experienced, that when a hall is full of many people, you feel warm inside. So the reason is, when too many people are there close to one another, we feel the heat of one another. So penguins huddle together, live in groups so that they can feel the warmth of one another's body and can survive in that extreme condition. Like polar bears, penguins are also very good swimmers. Their bodies are such that they can swim in water easily. They have streamlined body and they have a webbed feet which makes them good swimmers. Other than these two, that is polar bear and penguin, there are other animals as well which live in polar regions. Many types of fishes are there: musk oxen, reindeers, foxes, seals, whales, and various birds. They live in those extreme conditions. Fish needs to remain underwater under very cold conditions. When it is winter over there, fishes go deep inside the water because deeper waters are warmer compared to the upper layer of water. Birds, they need the warmth, so they migrate to warmer regions in winter seasons. You must have heard about Siberian cranes, which come from Siberia, that is also a polar region, and they come to places like Bharatpur in Rajasthan, which has a bird sanctuary, Sultanpur in Haryana, and in some of the areas of northeast India. We have these migratory birds which come from those very cold places. They live here for a few months, then they go back to their original land. They are called migratory birds. Some birds travel a distance of 15,000 kilometers to reach to warmer conditions so that they can survive there. It's still a mystery that how they remember the places, how they remember the path through which they have to fly. How they have such a good sense of direction is still a mystery for everybody. And it is not only birds that migrate, but there are other animals, many fishes, insects, they also migrate. Now let's see about the adaptation of animals living in tropical rainforest. Tropical regions are generally having hot climate because they are located near the equator. Even during the winter season, the coldest month of the year, the temperature is as high as 15 degrees. And during summers, the temperature goes higher than 40 degrees. Days and nights are almost equal in length throughout the year. This region also gets plenty of rainfall. As a result of rainfall, this region has tropical rainforests. These tropical rainforests are found in the Western Ghats and in Assam, in our country, and in Southeast Asian countries, Central America, Central Africa also tropical rainforests are found. Because of warmth and because of so much of rain, this region supports a wide variety of plants. Various types of plants grow there, and because there are various types of plants growing, a variety of animals are found in these regions. The major type of animals living in rainforests are monkeys, apes, gorillas, tigers, elephants, lions, lizards, snakes, birds, various types of insects. So let's discuss about the adaptation of these animals which live in a hot and humid climate. The climatic conditions in rainforests is highly suitable for supporting enormous number of animals. Because so many plants grow there, so many animals live there. Since the number is large, there is a competition for food. Because so many animals are there, they live in the same region, so there is a competition for food. Many animals, they have to compete even for shelter. So most of the animals living there are adapted to live on trees. Like here you can see a red-eyed frog. This frog can climb up the tree because it has special type of feet. It has sticky feet. There are sticky pads in its feet which helps it to climb the tree. So it lives on the tree. Monkeys also, they live on the trees, and their hands, their limbs I should say, are such that they can easily hold on the branches. They have long tail that also helps them in grasping the branches. Even if they fall from the tree, they don't get hurt because their bones are soft. So this is a kind of adaptation. As there is a competition for food, animals are adapted to get food which is not easily reachable. Like let's take the example of toucan. This bird you can see has a long large beak. This long large beak of toucan helps it to reach the fruits which are far off on the branches or which are on the weak branches which cannot bear the weight of this bird. Many other tropical animals, they have a very sensitive hearing. They have a good sense of hearing, they have very sharp eyes, they have thick skin, and their skin color is such that they blend with the surroundings, which is called camouflage. This property of camouflage helps them to protect from the predators. It also helps them in hunting. Big cats like lions and tigers, they also have thick skin and they have a very sensitive hearing. Even when these big cats walk on dry grass, they hardly make any noise. So this is also a kind of adaptation. This picture that you see is of a long-tailed macaw. This animal also lives in rainforests of Western Ghats. And its most outstanding feature is its silver white mane. It is a very good climber and spends majority of its life on trees. How is it possible for it? Because it feeds on everything that grows on a tree. It will eat the fruits, the seeds, the leaves, the stem, flower, buds, everything. And not only that, it also can eat the insects which are under the bark of the tree. And because it gets everything on the tree, it rarely comes down on the ground. Another well-known animal of the Indian tropical rainforest is this elephant. It is also adapted to live in the conditions of rainforest. You know, its trunk, it uses not only as a nose, and because it has this trunk, it has got a very good sense of smell, but this trunk it also used for picking up the food. The tusks, they are modified teeth with the help of which these elephants can tear the bark of trees, which elephants love to eat. Elephant is able to handle the competition for food, and that is why survival is easy for it. It has got large ears. These large ears not only help it to hear even the smallest, faintest sound, but it also helps the elephant to keep cool in the hot and humid climate of rainforest. So what we saw here is different type of adaptations of various animals so that they can survive in their surroundings.